What's up, everybody? This is Hainsey's Cave Talk, and I'm your host, Chris Haynes, aka Hainsey. Last week, I gave this thing a shot, having video on YouTube, had some technical difficulties. This week, I'm back, fired up. The only thing is, I'm by myself, so let's do this. I'm going to give it a shot. Boo, I got a partner now. Hey, my buddy Jason, we're going to check.
Sorry, buddy, I'm late, but I was having sex. I just was able to get her just in time. I'm sorry.
Oh, but hey, I just called you like 2 seconds ago, and you said you were on your way, so that had to been quick.
The Viagra didn't work, by the way.
Hey, before we get started, the first thing I want to say is happy birthday to my stepson, Colton. He turned 12 yesterday. And happy birthday, Lincoln. He turned 7 today. So, happy the birthday, boys. I'm doing the podcast, but we're going to do the whole family thing afterwards. But you ready to get into this thing?
Oh, I'm ready, man. Big shout out to them birthday boys. Yeah. Happy birthday.
So, Sunday, we watched the game together, Super Bowl 59. It wasn't much of a game, really. But how was your thoughts on the aftermath?
Well, I tell you what, I'm very disappointed. I just thought Kansas City would have put up a better fight, better coaching, better everything. As we said last episode, I thought Philly had the better team. I really did, overall, besides quarterback and coach. Well, they had nothing better for the Super Bowl, and they just didn't show up. And it's like I'm not even mad because it was such a beatdown. And I just wish they put a better showing on. I didn't hit a Super Bowl block or nothing, so it was just a bad day altogether.
I was close on a couple. If they didn't go for 2 in the fourth quarter, I had 1-0 and I had a chance. But the game wasn't exciting at all. I did end up hitting 3 prop bets just on garbage time, and I won some money. But it didn't feel like I won money because the game was just so lopsided.
Exactly. It's funny you said about 1-0. A good buddy of mine, Garrett Jenkins, he had 1-0 on 2 blocks. And he needed Kansas City to kick at extra point again. But I told him, I go, why would they kick an extra point?
Yeah, it didn't make no sense. I didn't feel like I got robbed during the game. I was like, it's just they were going to go for 2. I mean, that was just what it was.
Yeah, it is. Why bring the kicker out for no reason? Even though the 2-point conversion wouldn't made a difference. But I forgot though, at our party, I did hit a block for $100.
Oh, you did.
So I actually pretty much got my money back on what I bet on a game.
Hey. We're on a podcast right now. We need to turn that phone on silent. We're not ready to take callers yet. You know what I'm saying? So, but it felt to me that Kansas City just wasn't, it was like they came out flat. The Eagles, they came out, you could tell they were hungry. They were actually the better team. And it was just, they came out fired up. Offensive line for Kansas City had no answers. It was just a lopsided game. It was and a question to me, to you is this it for Kansas City? Is it about to be a downfall? Or can they regroup and this could just be right back at where they need to be next year?
Well, it's funny. So the next day on Facebook, social media, whatever you want to call it, I was getting kind of upset. I was still kind of mad and sour about the game.
Oh, you was.
And everybody was saying about, Mahomes is nowhere near the GOAT, this and that, Kansas City this. I will say this, Kansas City will be back. And Mahomes had a horrible game, probably the worst game of his career. And they do have to get a little bit younger and stuff like that. They'll be in the thick of things. They'll make the playoffs. They'll finish first in their division, maybe second with the Chargers coming around and Denver coming around.
And Cincinnati's going to be better. It's going to be tougher.
Yeah.
It is going to be tougher. The AFC is just the cream of the crop when it comes to the quarterbacks.
Exactly. But I still think they'll be there because I think after that embarrassing loss, they're going to take it upon themselves saying, this ain't going to happen again. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, a key angle of this is Travis Kelce coming back. He said on his podcast that he was going to give it a long thought. He was only coming back if he was going to give it 100%. It wasn't fair to his teammates. And seeing him in the Super Bowl, he was so slow. He wasn't. He just couldn't react to pass blocking. He looked really old, and I've been sticking up for the guy and him and Mahomes, saying playoff Kelce, playoff Mahomes is different. But he laid an egg in the Super Bowl. I don't know. Do you think he's coming back? Do you think he's giving up?
Honestly, I'd rather him not come back. Listen, he's one of the greatest tight ends in the history of football. He really is. If he steps down, that frees up some cap space, and they can sign some younger players and then go from there. I mean, he He did. He really looked really bad in the Super Bowl. He
And
really
I
did.
could be wrong, but I think Travis Kelce might be the highest cap hit on the team right now. I think Noah Gray can be a starting tight end in the NFL. I think he's fine. I think whenever they moved your guys' guard to tackle, and he had to play tackle against some studs, he was really exposed. I think they just need to shore up the offensive line. I have all the faith in the world in Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people hate on him for no reason. The guy's been in the league for 7 years. He's made it to 5 Super Bowls. He's been to the AFC Championship 7 times. That's greatness. I mean, it really is.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean, you think about the 32 teams in the NFL. 30 teams would take Mahomes. There's 2 teams that might not, probably won't. Buffalo and Cincinnati.
Philadelphia wouldn't. No way. Philadelphia just beat.
You can say that, but if they had a stand-up competition, Mahomes would beat Jalen Hurts.
So here's in a quarterback competition, but the quarterback position's changed. There's a lot more running involved. He's such a power and dynamic runner. I don't know. I mean, Philly, it just feels like a perfect style. But hey, we got some shots. Let's do a shot real quick, buddy.
Yeah, let's do a shot over that last comment you made about Jalen Hurts and Mahomes. I might need 2 more.
To the Super Bowl 59 champs, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, you got it. They're the greatest team this year.
So, do you think, with this win, do you think Jalen Hurts is now a top 5 quarterback in the NFL?
No.
In my opinion, I do. I think the 4 people that are ahead of him is obviously Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joey Burrow. But then outside of that, I mean, you're looking at Jared Goff, Matt Stafford, Jordan Love, your guy that you love, Justin Herbert. I don't know any of those guys that are better than Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts, I will say there's an argument for Jaden Daniels, but not quite yet, I don't think. What he did this year was remarkable, but I think he is a top 5 quarterback.
No, you might be right there. I mean, but here's the thing. Put Jalen Hurts on the Browns. Well, then again, I take it back. Put Mahomes on a Brown, he would win 7 games.
Yeah, well,
But I'm just saying, he's got a great team around him. You're talking the greatest running back in football, 2 of the top 5 receivers in football, and the best defense in football.
Definitely the best defense. And I will say this, if I'm going to kind of stick up for Jalen Hurts here. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's balled out both times. He could have won the MVP if they would have beat the Chiefs the first time. You are right. He is loaded. He has the weapons. At the same aspect, we've never seen Patrick Mahomes without Andy Reid. That was always the question when it was Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. We don't know if, Brady, we found out Brady's greatness translated to another team. I don't know if we're going to find out eventually because Andy Reid don't have that much time left in his coaching career. But I think no matter what, Patrick Mahomes, as dynamic as can be, get that guy on offensive line, and he's still the best quarterback in the league.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Andy Reid's a big part of that. But I think Mahomes, with any coach, with his, what I want to say, knowledge of the game and his talent, he'll be good no matter who coaches them. As long as you surround somebody with talent, with an offensive line, you'll be fine.
Yeah. It was one of those games. If you watch that game, there was no way that the Kansas City Chiefs were coming back. Right off the bat, you could tell. And I predicted the Chiefs would win. I stand here corrected. I was completely wrong. I just thought the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, I was never betting against it. The time he lost was against Tom Brady, so I was just taking the odds. We both thought, that was going to be it.
Well, I mean, if you look at that game and you look back at Tampa Bay, I mean, Tampa Bay did the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Same
Their
game.
defensive line dominated. Mahomes couldn't do anything. He was running for his life. The receivers couldn't get open. And look, it's pretty much the same outcome. It just didn't score as many points. I mean, I think the defensive coaches here are finding a strategy to beat Mahomes. I mean, not all year, of course, because they win.
And you gotta have the players.
You have to have the players. You really do. I agree.
Watching that game, it's hard to believe that in the NFL you can get that much pressure not blitzing. That was why Philadelphia had so much success. They never blitzed. They had their 4 defensive linemen. They was causing so much havoc, and they could mix up the coverages. And Mahomes was getting so rushed that he just made some bad mistakes.
Well, I tell you what, even being rushed and being hurried up, I mean, he played a bad game. It's the worst game I've ever seen.
All
him
those
play.
stats were padded in
Yeah.
the second half.
Oh,
He played
yeah,
a horrible
of
game.
course. I
Yeah.
mean, Xavier Worthy had like 149
Yeah,
yards rushing or something,
receiving.
receiving. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And that was all garbage time.
Right.
And I do say a key play, not that it would have changed the outcome of the game, but made it closer. When D. Hopkins, right before halftime, was 24-0. And you think about it, Chiefs defense is not
That
played
wasn't
bad.
his fault, Hopkins. That was a bad throw.
Yeah, but he tripped.
I mean,
and
he did.
fell.
He kind of looked awkward, but that was a terrible throw.
Okay, I'll give you that, but he still could have caught it.
That was a big play, though, because that
It
would have got
was.
some momentum for you
Yeah,
guys.
because there was a lot of running room. They would at least got at least a field goal. So 24-3, but it's still a sign of life. You're getting a ball back in the third quarter. Because if you watch that game, Chris Jones, he fell to his knees and face when Hopkins dropped that
Oh,
pass.
that was the shot. Yep.
That he just figured, like, that was it right there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not saying they would have won the game, of course not. But it could have been a little bit more competitive, give you a little bit of confidence going into the second half. Maybe you score a touchdown, make it 24-10. It's a different game.
This game would have been competitive, in my opinion, if you erased the Mahomes turnovers. One of them led to a touchdown immediately. The other one was on a short field. Kansas City's defense was playing good.
Yeah.
They shut down Saquon Barkley. You can say whatever you want. They really locked in. What did he end up with? 70 yards or something?
Yeah, pretty
A
much,
ton of carries. He had a couple big catches, but Jalen Hurts had like 220 yards passing, 70 yards rushing, that was where the X factor. It wasn't like he threw the ball all over the place. The defense was just on the field a lot, and they were put in bad positions because it was always on a short field. And you're going to lose games when it comes to that.
Exactly. I mean, when you're on the field the whole game, the defense gets tired. They get frustrated because the offense isn't getting a first down or any kind of drives whatsoever. And
I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, it was
the first
bad.
half was
It was
the most dominant first half of the Super Bowl history,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Now, here's a question for you, and it kind of relates to Ryan Day at Ohio State. All year long, fans were just fire Ryan Day, especially after the Michigan game. Fire Ryan Day. He goes and he wins the national championship, right? The same kind of fans in Philadelphia, week 10, wanted Nick Sirianni gone. They wanted him gone, fired. He redeemed himself big time.
But you know what, though? There was something wrong with it because they had the same talent besides Barkley. Like, they really just fell off. And
Last year was a slump year for
Yeah,
them. It really
I
was.
just-
I agree.
And I could see, like, the organization thing, is something internal going on because why aren't these players playing for Nick Sirianni? You know, I just didn't understand that because they were so good and they just flopped.
Yeah.
And that's not like, I mean, it was, I don't know what happened there. Something.
Well, and like you said, usually if the players play well, they made it to the Super Bowl. And then the next year, the same players don't perform. It usually goes on coaching. Something the coaches are doing that the players aren't responding to. I don't know what happened last year. I don't know if it was just a hiccup in development with the team. I know the offensive line was banged up. I know they were transitioning away with Jason Kelsey being gone. They had a whole year to figure that out. But that guy, a year removed from the Super Bowl, and you wanted him fired. He don't forget how to coach. And I think just like the Ohio State fans, the Eagle fans just need to put a sock in their mouth and realize they got to coach. He beat probably one of the greatest coaches of all time in Andy Reid in the Super Bowl.
You look at the Eagles in the past tense there. Andy Reid had a pretty good run there, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a long run. It wasn't like they went to the Super Bowl and then he got fired.
Yeah, you're right. He had like I think 1 or 2 bad years, and they got rid of him. But how about the guy after that, Peterson?
I
Was that him that went to the Colts?
don't
He
know.
got him to the Super Bowl. They got beat. He played like 1 or 2 more years. They got rid of him. Like, if you look at it, Philly, they're not like the Steelers. They'll start new. They'll fire people to bring people in because they don't want to be mediocre. They don't want to just get to the playoffs. They want to win. So I mean, honestly, you look at it. I think Doug Peterson was there,
Okay.
and he wanted with what, Nick Foles.
Yep.
And that was like 2 years later, they got rid of him. Like, they don't play around there in Philly. Like, they're not scared to start something new and get something going again.
I think with them staying pat, the proof was in the pudding. He did take them back. They did win the Super Bowl. There was one more thing I wanted to add when it came to the almost wrap up this Super Bowl talk. we talked a few minutes ago about, do we think the Chiefs, is this going to be a start of a downfall? And I'll give a big shout out to Billy Goodland today. We were talking, and he brought up a good point. Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time. There was 9 years that he didn't make it to, or he didn't win a Super Bowl. 9 years. So in a 9-year gap, that can happen. So Patrick Mahomes is so young in his career still. He still probably has 9 years left. He's not going to go 9 years without going back to the Super Bowl. I just think he's not going to be the greatest of all time. He already has 2 Super Bowl losses, but you guys should appreciate the greatness. He's up there.
No, for sure. I mean, and like what Billy Goodland said, and I actually know that knucklehead.
That scoundrel.
Yeah, that scoundrel. He don't know shit. But anyways, 9 years.
He knows more than you.
9 years going without a Super Bowl, but out of 20 years, he only missed 9 years going to the Super Bowl. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. No, 9 years in a row. He missed 9 years in a row.
So out of 20 years, he's been in the league. Am I right? 20 years?
He has 7 Super Bowls.
So he
right?
went 9 years without going to the Super Bowl. So out of the next 10 years, he won 7 Super Bowls. Out of
Yeah, he won 7 Super Bowls. Yeah. I mean, that's why he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
I understand him. I'm going to have to... 9 years without going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it was...
I don't think that's possible.
I'm pretty sure. We looked it up. We looked it up today.
So if you...
I'll look it up right now.
Okay, let me see. So he went to... How many Super Bowls did Tom Brady lose? 3, 4? He won 7? So let me get this straight. There's no way he went 9 years.
He was 7-3 in the Super Bowl. You're right.
So if you've been to the Super Bowl 10 years, how can you go 9 years without making a Super Bowl? See, that's why I'm on the show.
Oh, my
God. And I
God.
question you about Billy Goodland. I'm telling you.
Here we go.
It doesn't make sense.
2004 to 2013, he wasn't there.
So 2004 to 2013, he never made the Super Bowl.
No. Look, the drought. 10-year Super Bowl drought.
So after
So you want to apologize to faithful listener, now going to be faithful viewer, Billy Goodland. He's right. You're wrong. Once
so from
again,
2013 to 2000.
that was the whole greatness.
That's when they had the great. Okay, I apologize, Billy G.
Yeah,
you're still an idiot, but I'll give you, I'll give you kudos.
You're a bigger idiot, right? Okay, so just to kind of wrap up the Super Bowl themed part of this show, I'm going to have you build a team. Okay, I'm going to give you $15 to build a team to beat this year's Philadelphia Eagles. Ready? It's going to be 4 positions: defense, quarterback, running back, receiver. We're going to start with defense. You have $15, okay? And I'll help you count because I know math.
No, you better help me pick because, honest God, I need to write this shit down. I'm not that good. 15 players.
No. I'm going to give you multiple choice.
Oh, okay. I got you. Thank you. My God.
So
I love multiple choice.
You're going to be spending money, and you're only going to have $15 to spend.
You got it.
In 4 categories. So the first category. Now we're trying to beat this year's Super Bowl champ.
Super Bowl Eagles. You got it.
Okay. You have the defenses. For $5 of your money, you could get the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. Probably the best defensive, one of them of all time. For $4, you can get the 1976 Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which is legendary, may I add. For $3, you can get that mighty 2024 Cincinnati Bengals defense, which was record-setting awful. Okay?
Why is it worth $3 then?
Because the other 2 are worse. For $2, you can get the 2008 Detroit Lions. That team was so fired up, they went 0-16. And for $1, you can get a college defense by the name of Kent State. They were 0-12. They gave up 48 points a game. You have $5 to spend. Make it smart.
So you want me to pick Kent State to stop Philadelphia Eagles?
Make it smart.
Stop Akron.
Yeah, you're right.
Baltimore.
But you're going to use
Baltimore.
You're using your $5.
Baltimore.
Okay, so
that's right.
$5.
I got $10 left.
He has $10. Look, all right. I thought this was going to be harder than I thought, but your math is pretty fast. Okay, you have $10 left. 3 categories. Now we're going to do receiver. Okay, you're going to have your top receiver For $5, you can get Jerry Rice, the greatest of all time. For $4, you can get the second best receiver of all time, Hines Ward.
He's not even in the Hall of Fame yet. But go ahead. I'll go with your biasness.
He's never going to be in the Hall of Fame,
Homer.
but he's
Go ahead,
the
Homer.
second best receiver of all
whatever.
time.
Go ahead, Homer.
For $3, you can get the one of two white receivers on this list, Adam Thielen. This is starting to drop off, right? And for $2, you can get Chase Claypool. And for $1, which personally might be my pick, is our buddy Chris Brown.
He couldn't play at Kent State. Give me Adam Thielen.
He couldn't play in the YMCA when we played.
No, exactly. He's a bum. Adam Thielen.
Okay, so you have $7 left for the next two
Yeah, I
categories.
spent $8. I got math.
Running backs. That's that's where we're going now. Okay, number 5 for $5, the greatest running back of all time, Barry Sanders.
I thought you'd say O.J. Simpson. I was going to laugh so hard on this show. But go ahead, pass on him.
Okay, the second best running back of all time. You have any guesses? For $4,
The guy from the Broncos.
Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong again. Jerome Bettis for $4.
Are you kidding? This is so biased. No, I don't want that fat ass.
Oh, he might listen to this show.
No, I hope he does. He had 38 yards and 18 touchdowns in his last year.
For $3, Ricky Williams.
The weed smoker. Okay,
Yeah.
go to the next one.
And to wrap it up, the last two. For $2, you can get Peyton Hillis. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
He was dynamite running back for the Cleveland Browns. Was on the cover of Madden. And then he was out of the league the next year or something. It was weird.
I thought you were going to say Mad Magazine, even though you don't remember that. That was back in
Mad
87.
TV.
Well, okay, that's close.
Yeah, I mean, I know Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire Marshal Bill, I think, was on Mad TV.
Actually, no, but good. Just
All right, and
showing
for
my age.
And for one, yeah, but you look at you. You're so pretty. Age is
Can you rub my head some more?
age like fine wine. Still elementary brain up there, buddy. All right.
He rubs my head above the bar.
Yeah, I can't reach that. I ain't got my tweezers. And the last running back, for $1, you get a Watt brother.
Ricky Williams.
It's Derek Watt. You want Ricky Williams for $3?
For
Okay.
$3.
Okay. So how much have you spent so far?
Like 13.
$13. Okay. And the most important positions coming up.
Now I'm asking, did I spend 13 or 12? I'm just guessing.
You spent 13.
Okay.
You spent 5.
Baltimore Ravens defense.
Hold on. Yeah, you spent
5
5.
on a defense.
You spent 3 on the receiver. That's 8. And then you got Ricky Williams for 3.
Adam Thielen was 3 and Ricky Williams was
3.
Wow. We're gonna have to redo this because your stats are way off.
So right now you have 11, right? Hold on. 5. Is that what you ended up with? 11? No. Hold on here.
He's the host of the show, people.
Hold on.
Yeah.
5 for the defense.
5 for the defense.
3
for Thielen. That's 8.
All right. 3
for Ricky Williams.
Okay.
That's 11.
Okay.
So I got $4 to spend.
So you actually did this pretty smart.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to tell you what, the quarterback is the key and the defense is the key.
You're kind of right with this. And I think you could have did this and kind of got away with maybe taking the Bengals defense and just if you load it up. But the quarterback position, the quarterback that you will not have is for $5, Mr. Tom Brady.
Okay. I'll get him.
So, I'm not going to tell you the $4 quarterback because...
And can I tell you something? I don't want Tom Brady against Philadelphia's defense. Because the way they rush, he can't move, so I'm glad. So my $4 or $3, I'm going to have cap space if I pick the $3 quarterback.
he's gonna take a dollar out of my wallet. All right, so for you actually did kind of smart here because it's pretty bad. Okay, for $4 you can get Cordell Stewart.
The only thing he did good that I hated was he beat Michigan.
Yeah, but you just said you wanted a running quarterback, right, against that defense.
a running quarterback that can throw.
Oh, okay. So he doesn't want. He's gonna want the $4 quarterback. Okay, the number $3 quarterback, or the $3 quarterback, Mr. President of the United States of America, Donald Trump,
Oh God.
and the $2 quarterback. She's a lovely wife. Her name is Shasta Haynes.
I know she can't throw a pass.
And the $1 quarterback is Wee Man from Jackass. So you really could have put yourself in a bad position because there was only 2 NFL quarterbacks on the list. One was the all-time great. The other was a top 10 quarterback of all time, in my opinion. Right?
You should have had Shasta listed as a receiver. I might have picked her.
Hey, I see where he went there. Yeah, I would have $5. $5. So, in your defense, you did the right thing. You took the high placed defense. I kind of made it a little bit easier for you because that $3 running back I had before Ricky Williams was really bad. But I think here's your team: 2,000 defense with the Baltimore Ravens. They could probably shut down Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, their defense was so good.
Your receiver, Adam Thielen, he's locked down. Your running back, Ricky Williams, could have a good game. And Cordell Stewart is going to be mobile enough. But like you said, you didn't get him a good receiver, and he lacks throwing the ball. But I think, in my opinion, I put you in a losing situation, and you did the best you could.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough.
It was like an escape room with no escape.
I've seen these lists done. If you waited on Tom Brady, maybe, but like you said, Tom Brady's he's less mobile than Mahomes. It might not have been a good day. Either way, I set up a list that you probably wasn't going to be able to win the Super Bowl. But kudos, buddy. You did the best you could. I'm really proud of you.
You set me up to fail, buddy.
No, but you still came out a winner.
Thank you, pal.
We got a couple things lined up to do fun stuff today. One of the things was your not sports related was you wanted to talk about the top 5 sexiest women in the world.
Mama,
and
sexy women. Yow,
and what we're talking about is, okay, honey, you're going on the back burner. We're going home with this fine lady. You want to start off? We'll do back and forth. You do your 5th pick. I'll do my 5th pick. And we'll work down the list, all right?
Well, let me just get this out there. The girlfriend, or my worser half, is that a word, worser? But
no, it's your better.
Anyways, it's because you don't live with her. But anyways.
She's going to watch this show.
Yeah, and she asked, what's like a topic other than sports? What are you going to talk about? I said, well, I brought up the top 5 most beautiful women. She goes, what 3 are they? I go, what 3? I said 5. You stupid? She goes, no. I said, what 3 are they? And I kept looking at her, and I'd say, oh, he. Yeah. Well, she's number 1. My little doggy girl, Bella, is number 2. Then there's 3 after that.
But I'm going to stick up for you here, okay?
Thank you.
Because we, Carrie and all the other women, my wife included, Shasta, we made a stipulation that we wasn't going to put our wives or our girlfriends at number 1 because that's where they are in our heart. But for content reasons, we're just going to talk about the other girls that's not as beautiful as our own ladies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I like how you said that they're most beautiful in our heart, but maybe not our eyes. Sorry, girls.
All right. So, on hotness level, this is on hotness level. I mean, number 5. Who's your number 5?
Well, I got one thing to say. Like, I mentioned some of these girls, Carrie, and it was like, and I said Farrah Fawcett, and I said,
if you say Farrah Fawcett, she better not be on there.
Listen, and Carrie goes, she's dead. She goes, most of your listeners are
I said he's gonna name some people that are gonna be in the 70s, and I weren't even born yet.
And I said Raquel Welch, and Carrie goes, who the fuck is that?
She's in her 80s, ain't she?
And she's gorgeous. It's just hard because I'm 57 and I'm starting to think younger. But anyways, just wanted to get that out there. But we'll go ahead. I'm going to say my number 5, Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie. And I didn't even, when I looked at all the people that I wanted to be on my list, she never even came, it never even popped up in my mind. But I mean, she's pretty hot.
Listen, she's sexy. I mean, when she was with Billy Bob Thornton and they exchanged blood and drank each other's blood and did a couple shows and married Brad Pitt, adopted all them kids. I tell you, I just think I think she's hot. I really do. She's a sexy woman.
I think she played Tomb Raider.
The older one.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
did.
okay,
She
all
did.
right.
I mean, I just think she's a sexy woman.
For my number 5 on my list is Salma Hayek. Is that how you say her name? Salma Hayek?
Well,
Yeah.
it's funny that you picked her when I was going to say her, but because she's more my age, and you picked her. You're younger than me.
I think she's aged like fine wine.
She's gorgeous. She's
every
gorgeous.
movie she's in,
Yeah.
I don't know if the makeup artist makes her just look hotter, but Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh,
man.
my, that snake around her. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, Jesus.
Woo!
Yeah, and here, and full discretion, every one of these women I list are 100 out of 100. They're all the hottest that I but it's subjective, and if you guys don't think she's hot, you're just stupid.
Or you're too young to know.
Yeah. All right. So your number 4 was her as well, right?
No, I know.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, don't put words in my
All right.
mouth. I say my number 4. Oh, Blake Lively.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, good God. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, but who is she? You have to explain.
She's an actress.
Okay.
Blonde hair. You remember the movie when she was, them two guys that were, remember it?
You remember those two guys? You remember it?
The two guys that were selling weed and she was banging both of them.
Okay, so there's
I,
only
I
a few.
knew I should have wrote a description down because I knew you wouldn't remember.
Is it a newer movie? Let me look her up. real
Look up
quick.
Blake Lively and tell me if you don't know her. Seriously. Gorgeous girl. She made this movie where them two guys were selling weed. Salma Hayek was in this movie. She was in this movie. She was gorgeous, but she was a ruthless motherfucker. But I'm going to tell you what, bring up Blake Lively. And she had another movie she was great in.
Her?
Yeah.
That's your top 5.
That's
huh?
my top 5.
She's beautiful. She's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And she was married. She's dating him.
Oh, who's him? Who's him?
The superhero.
Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yes, yes. So how can you keep her out when you date Deadpool?
I don't think Deadpool's hot.
Well,
Hey, it's your list. I'm not going to dog it.
so
I just
you
didn't
don't
know.
recognize her? Seriously?
No, I didn't
You
know who
don't?
she was. No.
Damn.
Okay,
Okay, so Blake Lively was my number 4.
So my number 4 is Kate Upton. You know who Kate Upton is?
I know her boobs.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, boobs
Supermodel.
are big.
Supermodel. Justin Verlander's. And she's probably not on a lot of people's list. But
I forgot
there's
about
just,
her,
she
you know,
has
I forgot
two,
about her.
she has 2 perfect features on her.
Mm.
It's just, it's delicious. Delicious.
Really, I'm ready to put my mouth on this mic. Oh,
Don't,
anyway.
don't do that. I'm
Well,
going to
yeah,
have
you're
other
right. That's,
guests.
that's not even a titty. You're right. I'm sorry.
So that's my number 4.
Okay.
Who's your number 3 hottest woman in the world?
My number 3 is going to be Halle Berry. Just because I know you know her.
Halle Berry.
Okay, well, she's Holly when she's with me. No, I think she's absolutely gorgeous. She's around my age. She's in her 50s, and she's been gorgeous her whole life and just a great actress.
She has that skin tone.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, oh,
Just unbelievable.
yeah, caramel. Yeah, and to follow that up, my number 3 is Beyonce. I'm not a huge fan of Beyonce. Some of the stuff I don't agree with, but that woman, she's probably in her late 40s. She's sexy as hell. Perfect skin tone, perfect figure. She's just hot as hell.
I think early downfall is Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
he
I
looks
agree.
uglier than a mug.
Yeah,
How the-
exactly. I agree with you. She is gorgeous. I think her and Jay-Z, that's why I left her off this list. That's the only reason.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
who's your second? Your top
I'm
two?
gonna have. There's 2 of them. There's Jessica Alba.
No, you have a tie at 2. Don't do your number 1 yet.
I'm not doing my number 1. I'm going number 2. It's either Jessica Alba or Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale just missed my list. She's hot
Yeah,
as hell.
she's so. Listen, she's an action star. She's great. I watch all her movies. Even in Pearl Harbor, she was a great nurse back in the old Pearl Harbor. I'm gonna tell you, I just think she's absolutely gorgeous. And Jessica Alba, those are they're tied for 2, both of them.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
All right. Pearl Harbor was a good movie, man.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
It was.
But the movie itself didn't need that love story. It was
No,
good.
I know
It
what
was
you mean. I
good.
know.
But they had to put her in there somehow. She
Yeah.
was hot as hell. My number 2 is going to be Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson, the Black Widow. Any part she plays, she's just fucking mwah. But as the Black Widow, red hair, blonde hair, brown hair, I don't care. She's fine.
But I see where you're going with this. I know you told your lovely wife how we're gonna pick these girls, but I see how you're going toward like blondes. Your wife's blonde, and your favorite. You're going towards
Salma Hayek is not blonde.
Okay, so you tried to throw her off.
Beyonce is not blonde.
Well, yes, she
Kate
is.
Upton is.
She was blonde when she got her country award.
Oh, she was. Yeah, whenever she looked hot as hell then too.
Yeah, she
Jesus.
was. No, but I tell you what, though, she's hot too.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard to deny these women.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
You're right.
As looking at us, we're not gonna be like critical.
Of all the
and be
women you named, the only 2 I would kick out is 2 of yours. Out of bed, I'm saying.
All right, so who's the number 1?
Well,
if you ever had to leave your beautiful girlfriend, Carrie, for a celebrity, who
I'm
would
gonna
it
tell
be?
you what, and the only reason I would leave Carrie for this woman is because this woman is
Rich.
almost as pretty as my girl,
Rich.
and she's almost. Well, then again, she is richer than my girl, and she's a great actress, and I have to say it, Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
from
shocking.
Transformers and whatever you want to say.
Oh.
She is by far the sexiest woman ever.
He ain't lying. And in the first Transformers, woo! And then you see her now, like holy,
And now she got a boob job.
She aged like fine wine. I'll tell you one thing that Megan Fox might not do. I've seen on the internet. I've seen a few videos. She don't sing better than your girl Carrie.
Oh no, she don't even compare to Carrie singing about cocaine and all that other things.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So
and I heard Jennifer, and I heard her and Machine Gun Kelly broke up.
Megan Fox.
Yeah.
So if this video finds you and you're into middle-aged dudes that have subpar jobs, but will make you laugh, you got 2 guys. I probably wouldn't do it, but he will.
Yes, I would.
Okay, so that's a pretty good list. That is.
I think it's a great list. It is. And there's, listen,
It's subjective.
It is. And I can tell you, there's so many other more beautiful women out there. I mean, there's like Keira Knightley, Natalie Portman.
Those are all,
on.
but like,
Yes.
okay, so we can call those your honorable mentions.
Yeah, Demi Moore. I mean, like my age, Demi Moore, like from G.I. Jane.
Demi Moore from Striptease.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I brought her and Farrah Fawcett. I brought up to Carrie. He goes, well, they're like 60. Well, one's dead. I said,
Yeah.
well, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's just like you can go on and on about
You can,
beautiful women.
and you can look at like today, Marilyn Monroe would still be hot as hell.
Yes, of course.
You know?
And you could compare this to actually. The reason we brought up beautiful women is because you can compare beautiful women to the greatest running backs, the greatest wide receivers, the greatest tight ends, quarterbacks, defenses, teams. I mean, it goes on and on.
And we're gonna do lists. We're gonna constantly do random lists. This was a fun one to do, but I have to get to my number 1. My hottest girl. Of all the lists, all the girls I could look at through the whole thing, and I did some diving, okay, and I found one that wasn't on any list. Okay, but I found a diamond in the rough that wasn't on anybody's list, and I don't know why. Roseanne Arnold is my number 1, and it's The Voice. I'm just playing, but I want to show you. I want to show you who my number 1 is before I announce it to anybody.
Hey.
Megan Fox.
Hey, we agree.
Yes.
Just like we did on the Super Bowl and we lost.
So Megan Fox, if you're out there,
Yeah.
Congratulations. You won the award for hottest female for the Hainsey's Cave Talk / Jason Babella show because Yeah, she's
And for your
dying.
prize, you can sleep with both of us at the same time.
And I'll take whatever end you want.
And you can tell our girlfriends and wives.
Yeah.
Because we'll admit to it.
My wife would be like, I'm just jealous I'm not involved.
Yeah, they might join in.
Yeah. So I have a couple honorable mentions on the list. One that you don't know, she's a UFC fighter, Misha Tate. She's fucking, you know who she is? She's smoking. Another honorable mention, we didn't name, I thought maybe she'd be on your top 5. You didn't even bring her up. Jennifer Aniston.
Listen, it's funny you said that. And that's why I picked Angelina Jolie. I think Jennifer Aniston's pretty. Very pretty. But I'm more into that sexiness. Like Jennifer Aniston wasn't.
Have you watched Meet the Millers? Or We're the Millers?
Yeah, We're the Millers. She's pretty. She's gorgeous.
I hope she sees this. I really do.
She's just not sexy to me.
Okay, right. Hey, it's
That's all I'm
subjective.
saying.
It's
Like,
everybody's.
Angelina Jolie, Kate Beckinsale, like they're sexy.
I'm not gonna say-
It's my preference.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to say you're
sexiness.
wrong. I'm just going to say
I like
that no one's going to
sexiness.
agree with you.
Like Blake Lively, is she gorgeous? No, but you get that sexiness. They're sexy. Like when I look at you, I see sexy.
Thank you. You see sophisticated?
I see not sophisticated. I see sexy.
You know who's really hot outside of like just naming people was the girl from Adam's that Jenna Ortega.
Oh, she's a singer.
Yeah.
Or
What the hell? Wednesday.
yeah. Well, I banged her on Tuesday, but anyways. What was her name? I know what you mean. Like Selena Gomez, gorgeous.
Selena Gomez.
Gorgeous.
She almost made the list.
Yeah,
man.
she's beautiful.
Yeah.
But she's 23 and, you know.
Hey.
I hope my son brings her home.
Yeah, that's true that. All right, so that'll wrap up the women talk.
Yeah.
All right, there's a
Yeah.
couple things that happened today, news-wise. I don't know if you've seen. Back to sports. The Jets, they're parting ways with Aaron Rodgers. Did you see that? They announced that today.
Devontae Adams, too, I saw.
I don't know if Devontae Adams should leave if he can.
Yeah.
I don't know if the situation is where he's stuck. But in my opinion, worst case scenario for me, now we'll have to rewind the tape in a couple months, but if he comes to the Steelers, I'm going to be really disappointed. And he's linked with Tomlin. I just don't want him. If you're going to stick with an old quarterback, stick with the one we had, Russell Wilson. They're the same thing.
So, I mean, I see what you're saying. Now, listen, here's the... Say Russell Wilson wants to leave. Somebody wants to give him, I don't know, 20 million a year, 30
Well,
million a year. So,
if he goes anywhere, he's going to go play with Pete Carroll. The
okay,
Raiders.
I
you know?
agree with you. You're right. So now you got
Which I think he's leaving.
Justin Fields. So say Fields wants to stay, he'll play for $15 million a year, and they sign him to a 3-year contract. Great. I think that's the way to go if he signs for that. So if he doesn't want to stay, what do? If you can get Rodgers for $3 million, you have to go get him.
Well, there's been 2 reports today.
Go ahead.
All right. One was Andrew Filipponi. He's an unreliable source. He said that Steelers were going to get Brandon Ayuk. He's on 93.7.
Yeah, I listen to it every day. Yep.
The other dude, his first name's not coming to mind, but his last name's Burr. Both these guys have reported. So, 2 sources now said, I don't know if you heard this. The Steelers are pursuing Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I heard it, and then I heard it was all fake.
No, I mean, what I've heard is the first and second round pick.
Okay, it's funny you said that because they said both of them were true. Okay, they said we're going to give a first round and a second round pick, which is. Here's my problem with that, and I wanted to call 93.7 when they said that.
Oh, they said it on the radio today?
Yeah, listen, I heard this.
All right.
They were going to give a first round, second round pick for Trevor Lawrence, which I think would be okay. But here's my problem with that. Look at the Steeler coaching. Who have they developed? So if you get Trevor Lawrence, you give up a first round, second round pick, your coaching has not developed anybody.
See, I don't agree with that because our offensive coordinator's only been there a year. The offense was in shambles with weapon-wise. I think he's a good offensive coach. I think giving him Trevor Lawrence would be good. And then I'll talk to you about the Jaguars' point of view, why they would even trade him. But if you have some thoughts, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying is like everybody that comes to the Steelers, like they're talking about player development, and they haven't been doing that there. So Trevor's been in a down spiral the last couple of years. He's had like 1 or 2 good years, with some talent around him.
And a terrible organization.
Yeah, exactly. So you go to Pittsburgh, who hasn't developed pretty much anybody. So, like, you're going to give up a first, second round pick. You're not really a good coaching team to develop somebody. I'm not saying it's a bad move for Pittsburgh if you can develop.
Yeah, well, it's
Trevor
a home
Lawrence.
run. Yeah. It's a home run, in my opinion, if you get him. The reality of it is not likely. You don't just trade away a Trevor Lawrence. But if anybody's going to do it, it's Jacksonville. New coach. They don't even know if they have a general manager yet. I don't know if they do or not. But you look at this. They have a first-round pick, okay? If they get our first-round pick, they could trade up. If there's a quarterback that head coach loves, that would be the reason why they would move off Trevor Lawrence. Will the Steelers get him in that case? Probably not, because there's going to be other teams that's going to offer more, I would think. The Steelers will be on the cheap end. I've also heard rumors about Matt Stafford. I don't think he's coming. I don't want to give up a ton for Matt Stafford. He's older. Even though I love Matt Stafford, the young years are gone with him. So you stick with these older quarterbacks, you're going to keep getting the same mediocre results. And I think the Steelers are in a bad position right now.
So if you get Trevor, give up your first and second round pick, how do you build around him?
Well, I don't think you give up this year's second. I don't think you give up this year's second.
I agree. But that's what they were saying. It's a first, second round pick.
Yeah.
Then you give up your cap because they got 60
Yeah,
million.
but Trevor Lawrence is 25 years old.
I agree.
He's young.
I agree with you. But if you got to pick up his salary because you're 60 million, I think, under the salary
Yeah,
cap.
we have a ton of, and it's going to go up. We have a ton of money.
But if you pick up Trevor, give up first, second round pick, that salary cap goes way down. They said.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because his salary cap.
So then, who are you going to get to surround him?
I think he's worth. And here's the thing. Here's my whole thing. Starting last week was I could for sure tell you, in my opinion, that Cooper Kupp is going to be a Steeler this next year. Do I think it's going to be the greatest pickup? He's older. He's 31, I think. But if they trade away the capital that they would trade away to get Trevor Lawrence, they can't trade their draft picks to get Cooper Kupp. So that would be gone. It's going to be tough because Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback, but we've seen when he don't have weapons, like last year, he struggled. And Brian Thomas was a legit receiver, you know.
And plus, he had Etienne. So how? I mean,
yeah, Etienne was there,
yeah,
but he was. Trevor Lawrence was banged up a little bit last year.
Yeah, he was. You're right. I mean, it's a lot. If you have to give up the first and second round pick, it's a lot to give up for a quarterback who had 2 good years.
See, and that's good that we disagree, but I think it would be a home run for the Steelers. I think, 20 plus teams would call about getting him. I don't think it's realistic. If you trade away that guy, okay, you have more capital to just build around the guy you got. If you don't think he's that good, you're going to have bigger problems than what you think. In my opinion, for the Steelers, I would stick with Justin Fields and try to build around him and see what you have.
Yep, you're right.
But here's the problem. Like you said, what if Justin Fields already decided he's not coming back? Now you're desperate. Now we look at Aaron Rodgers, and that's where we're just going to be a same old, and I'm not going to be pumped about it.
No, I agree with you. I mean, their biggest thing is sign Fields if you can. If you don't sign Fields, you're going to have next few years are going to be bad.
Yeah.
Especially with the AFC, all the great quarterbacks and all the great teams.
Yeah. And before we move any further, I did want one more shout out. And then we have a couple more topics I want to get to. Okay. And we have some fun stuff I have planned. This episode is going to go a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I want to give a shout out to Shasta's nephew, Noah Chase. He's from Southern Local. Senior, just committed to college, play football, Walsh University. So congratulations to him.
Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, I'm very excited for him. I'm proud of him. I'm hoping all the success. But sports-wise, I only have a few things left sports-wise, but I have some fun stuff planned. The NBA All-Star Weekends this weekend. It's something that Shasta and I always make plans on Saturday night. We watch together every year. I watch the three-point contest. I watch the dunk contest. It's not what it was, but it is coming up. It is something sporty. I don't know if you watch any of that. I don't know. What? What you got, buddy?
Pause it.
I can't pause it.
I thought you were going to pause it.
Oh, I mean, I can pause it here and pause it there.
Oh, I thought you had to do something with
No.
the sound. No, the only other thing I got is I'm going to tell that story, And
we're still on
Oh,
there.
we're
Go
still-
ahead. Yeah,
Oh,
go
I
ahead.
can tell. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have some stuff I want to talk about.
Oh,
Go ahead.
well, we're
You want
talk-
to tell your story?
Well, you want to tell you want to tell what do you want to say my story for last or now or what do you want to do?
Let me talk about Ohio State's move this week.
Yeah,
like, I
I'd
don't
rather
wanna-
tell my story about a turd floating.
I
down
don't
the
want
river.
to pause it. I really don't want to pause it. We got a good thing going.
That's
I want to
good.
keep
Okay,
the ball
I'm just kind
rolling.
of confused here. We're on video. Stuff.
And it's our first time, so
Exactly.
there's going to be hiccups.
Yep, you're
you
right.
know? And if people expected perfection, they wouldn't tune into us anyways.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not perfection, that's for sure. I'm perfected fuck up.
Yeah. He ain't lying. Ohio State. What do you think about the hire?
Matt Patricia.
Yes.
I think it's a good pickup. I do. I think he's a good coach. Seems like Michigan, when they get them defensive coaches from the pros, well, it does well against Ohio State. So I think it's a good pickup. I really do. I mean, Ohio State's loaded. It's not like they need great coaching to get them where they're at because they get all top 5-star prospects. They'll be fine no matter who they get.
I'm excited. Like they said, it's basically a done deal. When it comes to Matt Patricia, there's one thing that does concern me. He has the Bill Belichick in him, so he's really strict, really hard. With these kids this day of age, sometimes they don't respond to that. They're not as soft, but they haven't been raised to the firmness that he's going to coach at. He's never been in the NFL, or he's never been to college coaching. So I think him coaching against college offenses will not be a walk in the park, but it is going to be a step down talent-wise. I don't think he's there long. I think he's going to be there for a year like Chip Kelly, go get a head coaching job somewhere else. But I am excited about the pickup. Yeah,
I think it's a good pickup. I really do.
Yeah. So, on top of sports, what I have to talk about is only going to take a few seconds, okay? I got a couple UFC things to talk about. Do you want to talk about the story first?
Okay, I got a story. I was at the gym.
Only reason I'm bringing this up, okay, because I have some stuff I want to talk about. But if I keep talking, he's not listening until he gets his story out. So go ahead, buddy. Go
I just
ahead.
want to say, I always have a story most of the time on all our episodes.
Yeah.
And trust me, they're all true. Trust me. It's embarrassing to say, but they are. Well, I met a friend of mine, actually a good friend of mine at Planet Fitness. We were working out. And I was looking at him. I was thinking about, you know what? I was thinking about a bad beatdown in football. It's not your normal beatdown.
But explain what a bad beat is.
A bad beatdown, like say you got a team +3, the other team got the ball, and interception runs it in for a touchdown. They lose by 10, you lose your bet. That's a bad beatdown. Or, actually, I can give you a lot of bad beatdowns. Or the team's lining
when
up
this
for a
show's
field.
over, depending on your behavior, I might give you a bad beat down.
I line up for a field goal, they block it, run it in for 2, covers the spread. That's what I'm talking about, bad beatdown. When you make a bet, you think you got it won, and you lose it in the last 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, and it happens all the time.
Okay, so this is almost like a bad beatdown. Well, anyways, me and a good friend of mine, we went out for a drink, went to a bar. Anyways, walked in a bar and felt a little uncomfortable. Anyways.
You walked in,
Yeah.
you were out of your element.
I was out of my...
Be bluntly honest.
Yeah, it was my cousin's bar, but I walked in and I didn't realize it, but I was like one of the only white guys in there. I mean, honestly. And we live in a small town.
Yeah.
I know everybody, I get along with everybody, but still a little uncomfortable. I saw a couple other white guys in there, but it's just me and all the black guys. So anyways, we sit down at the bar, me and my buddy ordered a drink.
And your buddy was a black guy
Yeah,
too, right?
my buddy was a black guy, yeah, a really good friend of mine. So then, and on the side of me was another guy, and he started joining the conversation. My buddy knew him, we're talking. Oh, good guy, but I knew what he was about. Little innuendos, he made his money on doing whatever. So anyways, Michigan High State game's coming up.
How long ago was this?
Oh, I'm going to go back about 15 years.
Okay, all right.
So the Michigan High State game's coming up a week later. He goes, yeah, you want to bet on it again? Because he realized I was a Michigan fan because I had a Michigan coat on, my shirt on. He goes, let's bet on this game. I said, okay, I don't know this guy, but I'll bet you. So we bet
Jason, before you go any further,
Go ahead.
you didn't know this guy.
No.
So if you lost, he was never going to see you again.
No, and I probably wasn't going to see him again, but I'll make a bet anyways.
Okay, right.
So here we go, $100, Michigan High State. You got it, bet. So anyways, I leave the bar, get out of there unscathed, healthy, good.
Unscathed.
That's a good word, isn't it?
Yeah. Huh. As
So
much
about-
as you
about-
talk, I'm surprised you left.
So anyways,
unscathed.
I forgot all about the bet. I'm like, I'll never see him again. Maybe if I do, I'll pay him or whatever.
He wasn't gonna pay him.
No, anyways, I got a $100 bet on a flat bet on Michigan Iowa State, and I lost.
Okay.
So about a week and a half ago later, I come home. This is when I was married, so this is a while ago. I come home, I saw my answer machine, and the red light was blinking. I'll play the messages. Well, message. Well, here's the message. Hey, you motherfucker. I see where you live. You owe me money, $100. And if I don't get it, I will shoot up your house. And I'm not going to say the words, but I'm going to say they're going to shoot up the house if I don't get my money. Well, let me tell you something, people. I was scared to death. Thank God my wife didn't hear that, my ex-wife, because I didn't know what to do. So I got a hold of somebody. I said, hey, you know this guy? They go, yeah, give him his $100. So he gave him the $100. Now, this is a bad beatdown. I'm telling you, I'm getting back to the story. It's a bad beatdown. So anyways, he paid him. Everything was good. 2 days later, on the news, God forgive me.
God forgive
me. The guy got shot, okay, with my $100, probably still in his pocket. And I feel bad. It was a drive-by shooting. So I was so mad that, like, I gave him that money. He called me up and threatened my family. He died.
You were like, hold on.
like, oh my-
You were like, if I held out.
Held out a couple more days. I still got my 100. So anyways, after that, the day later, my buddy called me. That took me to the bar. He goes, hey, that was me. He actually pranked me. He actually called my house, threatened me, but it was a prank. So if you look at it, that's a bad beatdown. If he don't call me, I don't pay him. The guy's dead, and I still got my 100.
Oh my God, Jason! That story might get me kicked off YouTube before I get started. Holy crap! That was
You know
a lot
what?
to unpack there.
Jesus.
You were gonna.
Even if I watched the news, I could, if I saw it, I went to the porch, he got shot, and like checked his pocket, got my $100 out.
Jesus.
I'm
Jeez.
still mad at my friend, and he had a good laugh at the gym when we brought that story up.
I don't condone unaliving anybody, but that is funny. Like, if you would have held out 2 more days, you'd be.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy. Don't worry about the guy dying.
Yeah,
Not nothing to do with
well,
that.
Well, I know, but it's still that's a bad beatdown. Not a late second field goal.
That's legit life. Bad beatdown. So there's a couple things I want to talk about UFC wise. Just give me a few minutes. First thing, this week announced The Ultimate Fighter, which is a live competitive TV show that I've always watched. They produce a ton of UFC champions. It airs on ESPN. They announced the coaches. Dan Cormier and Chael Sonnen. Both of them are awesome for TV, awesome coaches. So I'm excited for that. Lastly, I want to talk about UFC 312 last Saturday. I gave out 4 picks. I went 1-3, Jason, on my bets. 1-3 on my bets. So I had a bad night when it comes to UFC 312. UFC's hard to bet on. Very unpredictable. The 2 things I will say. Dracus Du Plessis looked amazing. He looks like he keeps getting better and better every fight. And then the one I was disappointed in most was Tatiana Suarez getting mauled by Weili, and Weili looking like the dominant champ she was. Overall, in my opinion, briefly, the card was whack. It was a lot of Australians. The fights wasn't very amazing. There was some excitement in some of them, but there was a lot of lows, a lot of decisions. And then there's a fight night this Saturday. The main event, Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodriguez. It's going to be an absolute banger. Can't miss fight. If you just tune in just because there's nothing else on, watch the main event. It's going to be a banger. Somebody's going to sleep. That's going to be my UFC talk for the week. Do you have anything else before we move further into the festivities?
Every year, for like I think 14 years, we get together for March Madness. That's coming up. I can't wait for that.
I'm excited.
It's the greatest first 4 days in sports.
We're
ever.
looking at, I think, 5 weeks away from that.
I can't wait for that. And honestly, for the first time, I don't know about you because you're a Buckeye fan, but I actually think Michigan will be in the final 64. That's going to make it exciting. Ohio State will probably be in the NIT.
No, I think Ohio State's going to – I think they're in. I think right now – right now they're sitting at a 9 seed. Okay, they're 15-10. They've had some tough, close losses. They're sitting at a 9 seed, and their schedule weakens now. There's going to be some winnable games coming down the stretch. I think they're getting in the tournament as well. I'll be excited. I believe that.
Check. I think he's been drinking on the side. I think so. He's been drinking on the side.
Not on the side. Not on the side. Cheers, buddy. Not on the side.
Cheers, brother.
Yeah. There's a big game Saturday.
Well, I'll tell you what.
There's a big game in college basketball.
Pitt and Ohio State, they're on the outside looking in. They really are.
In my opinion, I think Ohio State's they need.
They had some big wins. They beat Kentucky. They beat Purdue. They beat some good teams, but
they're sitting at 15-10. I'm not saying that they're.
Yeah. I hope they do get it because I love it. Listen, I could hate Ohio State, but man, put Michigan and Ohio State in there. Not that they're going to meet each other, but I love when they're in there because when we get together, it's either Ohio State fans, Steeler fans, and there's a couple of Michigan fans. It makes everything better.
It does. As much as I hate it, Michigan, and as much as you hate as Ohio State, when it comes to like college football with bowls, I always root for the Big Ten. I'll root for the Big Ten in the tournament, but if Michigan gets the national championship, I'm not rooting for Michigan no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It gives you something like if Michigan
extra emotion.
If Michigan doesn't get in a tournament, Ohio State does. Well, it gives me something to root against. Fuck you, Ohio State. I hope you lose. I don't care who you play. Kent State, Murray State. It doesn't matter. It gives you something to fight for.
Right. And there's a big game. Auburn, Alabama, 4 o'clock Saturday.
Whoa.
I picked, I have a bet. I told you about
Alabama to win it all.
Yeah,
right.
that's a big
that's
game.
A great bet.
Yeah, and I think looking at this game, they're the two best teams in college basketball. 4 o'clock on Saturday. That game's going to be huge. I don't think it's going to make or break either team, but you're going to be able to see, all right, who is the real deal. But I think March Madness is right up there. I'm excited. Every week we get closer. The games mean more, so it gets more exciting.
It's the greatest tournament of all. I swear to God. I mean, as much as I love college football, NFL, March Madness is the greatest tournament of all.
It's just amazing.
Best.
And when it comes to like sports lovers like ourselves and bettors, there's nothing better than having 4 games on at once. And all these games, at least 2 of them is going to come down to the wire. Mm-hmm. It's the greatest sporting event. And then down here, 4 TVs won't miss a beat. We watch every game. It's a spectacle. It's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's been my favorite for, 20 years. I just love the college basketball tournaments. Yeah. It's absolutely the best. Because when you lose, you're out. You win, you advance. And there's always them Cinderella teams. It keeps you fighting for them underdogs.
Yeah, always. And they never, every game, you could be a 16 seed. And we've seen it before. So every game you tune in on the edge of your seat because these kids come out and they play the game of their life. And it just makes for great memories, great TV. Outside of college basketball, there's one more sports topic briefly I want to talk about. Him and I don't talk hockey on this show. We just don't. Mm-hmm. But they have a tournament coming up. It started yesterday. It's called the Four Nations Tournament. It's 4 countries. Team USA, Team Canada, Team Finland, Team Sweden. I'm going to be tuned in all weekend.
I don't mean to interrupt you. That's not the Olympics.
He's holding my hand.
I know. I'm sorry because I hate to interrupt him because something I don't know about. But that has nothing to do with the Olympics. It's a new thing?
Yeah, it's a new thing they added.
Okay,
they stopped the season. It's the best players of the NHL for and they're playing. It started last night. I think it ends next Friday. But I looked at it like Team Canada is amazing. Their roster's stacked, and I was like, they're a heavy favorite. Actually, right now, Team USA is like a 50-50 shot of winning it. I know it's only 4 teams, but when I looked at the roster, I thought Team USA was down. So I'll be rooting all the way. I'll watch it all weekend. They play Saturday, but.
They were saying Team USA that they like him because their goaltending is very good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. That's all I know about it.
Look at him. One more thing, guys. We have 2 more. I have 2 more fun things planned for Jason, but I wanted to talk about briefly. The Daytona 500 is on Sunday. Okay, I'm not a NASCAR fan by any means. He don't like NASCAR.
I'm a Daytona Beach fan.
No doubt. But my dad was a huge NASCAR fan. He watched it every week. every year for the Daytona 500, him and I made plans. I sat down with him, watched the Daytona 500, fired up as fired up could be. I'm going to be watching this Sunday in honor of him. I'm going to make some bets. I'm going to be fired up for that race. And I'm not a NASCAR fan, but on Sunday, I'll be thinking of the big man. And but that's my sports talk. I have some stuff planned, just a couple things for you. You ready?
I guess.
All right.
I got to pee. Hurry up.
You want to pee real quick?
Yeah, I got to pee.
No, you can't pee.
Okay, I can't pee.
No.
Okay, I'll wear a diaper next time.
We got like 5 minutes left.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
good. I can watch.
All right. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was I'm going to give you 4 things, okay?
Okay.
Not gambling, not drinking, not having sex, and not being able to talk. I want you to name how long you could live without doing any of those. Here's the options. 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. And you have to pick one for each. That's almost impossible to do. I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think is the hardest thing? Not being able to talk to anybody, because he'll never shut the fuck up. Not being able to drink, because we like to drink. Not being able to gamble, because we like to gamble. And sex is pretty fun as well. Which...
I'm going to start crying. Because I can't do none of them. I don't know which one he said. 5 years without doing none of that?
That's the first one. You have to go 20 years without doing one of those. Which one do you think you could do? 20 years without doing one of those.
I can go 20 years with...
Out gambling?
Not...
Which one is the one? Which one do you... Without fucking?
It'd have to be gambling. It would have to be. I hate to say it, but it's gambling.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, when I say fucking... So that deprives my woman, too.
Yeah, so you're not looking at your
I'm not being
selfishness.
selfish.
Yeah.
I have to include her in
Okay,
this.
so would
So
your
it have
5
be
years to
gambling.
be without sex then? Because you have 20 years is going to be without gambling. What's your 15 years going to be without? Drinking, having sex, or talking to people? Because you can't do it. You can't not talk.
Why
to
is all
anybody.
your shit so extreme? Just like your teams you had to build. I mean, I had to choose between Chris Brown and what. Like you need this. You need to like tighten this up a little bit. 15 years is a long time. 10 years. Like, can you make it like 4 days?
No. No. It's
Yes.
hard. I want to see what really you think you could do without.
I can't. You know what I would do? I'm gonna tell you right now what the fuck I would do. I would go to that fucking Memorial Bridge from Weird to High, and I would just jump off and say, "Fuck it, I can't make a decision."
It's safe
Okay,
to.
that's
It's safe to say.
that's my decision.
Okay, it's safe to say that was an impossible ask.
Exactly.
Okay, and it was probably an impossible ask for myself. If I had to rank mine, because he's not going to rank his,
What would your ranking be?
in my opinion,
Probably drinking.
20 years, he's right without gambling. That would suck. All right. 5 years without having... 5 years without talking to anybody.
What?
10 years without having sex.
How could you have a talk show and a podcast and you can't talk?
But that's the options, buddy. I have to...
So you're going to give us all up so much you built this for, and you're going to give it all up.
Well, if
Okay,
push comes to
that's
shove,
okay. Go ahead.
yeah, and then 15 years, I'm going without drinking. So my life's going to be pretty fun for...
Like I said, guess what? We'll handcuff each other to that bridge.
All right, I have some more extreme stuff for you.
No, they're extreme, all right.
All right, we're going to play a game called Would You Rather.
Oh, here we go.
All right, you ready?
Would I rather bang Megan Fox or Blake Lively?
What's the answer?
Ooh. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the answer is.
That's right. Carrie.
Yeah, there you go. Would you rather spend a night in a haunted prison alone or spend a night in an abandoned mall with 3 grizzly bears walking around? They're not like out for you, but like if you make the wrong step, you're dead. You're a very
a haunted mansion. You're right.
You're a haunted prison. So, but you're you're real jumpy. So like that would be tough for you.
I tell you what, I would probably go Grizzlies.
You would just hide in the bathroom.
I'd hide and fuck. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would throw out like maybe a hot Sam pretzel for them to eat and chase, and I would do that.
It's abandoned, so
I don't want
nothing is on.
I'm not going to be in prison, and it's abandoned, and I'm by myself. I'd rather have the grizzly bears for at least company after they eat me.
All right, so the next one.
Go ahead.
would you rather, if you had to win a fight, would you rather fight a kangaroo or fight 5 midgets?
5 midgets.
They would kick your ass. Sorry.
Oh, wait a minute. I could stomp them. Kangaroos are bad motherfuckers. They got them pouches. They punch
They're
you.
right in ball length.
Exactly.
Just fuck.
5 midgets, though. They can just, they're like little piranhas.
Couldn't you like tire them out there?
I don't know. They're little.
They got little feet.
I know, but they don't take big steps. They don't get tired.
They don't take big steps.
And
That's good logic.
and their swings are little.
Yeah. So what would you rather do?
Oh, goddamn. I'll take them. Oh, I'm going to fight them midgets.
He's gonna fight because the kangaroo would probably whoop both of our asses.
Yeah, especially protecting her babies. You're right.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe jump on her back, choke her out, but you ain't getting to her back.
Yeah,
She's
it's
like,
like beating a big rabbit.
you ever see them pictures of the kangaroo? They got the boxing gloves on.
Yeah, I saw
you,
that on Bugs Bunny.
yeah. You're not. Did
No.
you see it on Bugs Bunny?
Yes, it was a cartoon Bugs Bunny. It was like pop, 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 pop.
All right, you ready for your next one?
Go ahead. Make it easier.
All right, I will. Would you rather lay in a bed of snakes for an hour?
That's easier.
It's gonna get easier. Or spend the night and sleep with a cave full of bats. You only have to lay in bed with snakes for an
I'd probably
hour.
take the bats because I can't take snakes. They're all crawling
Yeah,
on
they'd
me.
be crawling on you. They'd probably be licking you.
I'd be exact. I'd rather do the bad eggs in my hair and all that shit. I don't know.
Hey, that's pretty.
Yeah,
I would pick the bats too.
I would pick the bats.
You know, he's getting kind of frustrated, aren't you? You're like, fuck this stupid shit.
I know.
All right, this is legit. It would be tough for me. Would you rather walk around in wet socks or wet underwear for 8 hours?
Wet socks or wet underwear?
Both would be absolutely
Well, I'm
miserable.
used to wet underwear. I'll do that.
He's got wet underwear right now because I didn't
yeah,
let him go to the
yeah.
bathroom.
I mean, they're not wet, but they're kind of powder dry.
There ain't a worse feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Wet socks or wet underwear. I got one more for you. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
It's kind of an inside joke. We might explain later. We're not going to explain tonight. But would you rather shit yourself in public or pee yourself in the middle of a blizzard? So you shit yourself in public and everybody sees you shit yourself. Or you piss yourself in the middle of a blizzard and now you got piss froze to you.
Yeah. Well,
Have you done either one of them?
you know what? As vain as I am, I'd rather pee in a blizzard. Just because I'm by myself, I'm probably going to die anyways, and then I got ice cubes floating down my leg.
Hey, I wouldn't want to shit. Yeah, I wouldn't
No, I
want
don't
to.
want shit in public.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you think about it, probably sometimes we have shit in public. You know, that little wet little fart.
Yeah, the one where you thought it was a fart. And
Exactly, and it was wet.
Yeah.
So actually, we've done it already. So I've never been in a blizzard and had to pee myself.
Looking at my itinerary, that's gonna wrap it up for our talk this week, buddy.
That was a great talk. I mean, it was very intellectual, and
I thought we absolutely nailed it. I thought the top 5 women.
we always do.
Yeah.
Always do nail it.
Yep. So if you guys, real quick, if you would check when you're checking this video out, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Once we get 50 followers, we're right there. We only need 14 more. We're gonna be able to go live. When we go live, I have this laptop sitting here. We'll be able to read comments live. You guys can interact with us. It'll make for a great time. Also, anybody that's listening on Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, I appreciate the listeners too. There's going to be that way avenue. We're really going to try to get this video thing going. And with that being said, if there's anything that you would like to hear us talk about, or you have any criticisms or advice, shoot us a message, shoot us a comment. We'd love to hear it. We'll talk about just basically anything. So if you let us know, we're all about it, right?
Peace out.
Yep, till next
My
time.
man.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
seeing y'all. Take
Yes,
y'all.
sir. Salute. I heard that recorded the whole time. That was good. That was really good.
Real good.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: you can't go live until.
Um,
Okay, let me pee. Let me pee. I do want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Shut up, go pee.